Today we received aid for the family. They've been calling for quite a while. Their electricity may be turned off or their water may be turned off if they don't pay the bill. Because the daughters are in school and the father is not able to work, the mother doesn't work, there's no one that can help them with the just paying bills so they don't get their utilities cut off.
This is the story of Liz Kopp, who came to Israel as a young student from America. Now over 45 years have passed, and she still lives here with her husband Chuck. What motivated Liz to make Israel her home?
I fell in love with the country. I was 18, the country was 18. All the soldiers were 18. I had a wonderful time.
Together with her husband, she's faced a life with all the challenges of residing in an unstable region that's always in the news.
It's been an exciting life. Life on the edge, this is my motto. If you're not living life on the edge, you're taking up too much room. And we've lived in Bethlehem, Beit Jala, for 7 years, and we've lived the rest of our time here in Jerusalem. We've been here over 45 years.
She is resourceful. She has a heart for the poor. She loves to meet them personally, go into their homes and see what their needs are.
I love living the moment to the fullest. I'm not a detailed person. I don't like to plan ahead. I like to let things happen.
She goes after with vigor and with all her resources, and she's not satisfied till she solved the problem. I'm very pleased that she has this autonomy and this freedom to be her own person.
Many times, Liz has been visiting people in need of a helping hand. Her heart goes out to the poor. Today, she's driving to Bethlehem, a town which is partially divided from Israel by a security wall.
The wall, unfortunately, though it has stopped terrorism to a huge degree, bus bombings have come to pretty much an end as we knew them before, but it has made life difficult for people in the West Bank behind the wall.
Whenever Liz visits poor families, she brings some groceries. The local residents are grateful even for small gifts. For them, it's a token of friendship. Liz got to know this particular family through a friend.
There are many underprivileged people on both sides of the wall, among the Israelis, among the young mothers, the single mothers, for whatever reason, divorce or widowhood or raising children, and the school supplies and school bags, school clothes, food. Food is very expensive here. And if a single mother has to work and supply her children with all these things, this is a very hard issue.
Liz knows poor Jewish and Arab families and tries to help wherever she can. This Arab family of 5 struggles hard to make ends meet. Their 2 daughters are still in school. The father is out of work and the mother is unwell. Before our visit, she had suffered an accident.
There are many, many poor families that just don't even have maybe only one parent, or maybe one parent who's sick. So the children are left almost homeless. There's very sad cases. Okay.
Liz is trying to enlist others who are willing to support her project to help the poor. As small as her help may seem, she tirelessly continues her work.
When just one act of kindness of someone helping another person, another family with just simple things like a medical bill or a food bill or a gas bill or the water bill, this brings hope. It brings inspiration that yes, there can be a change.
Christians in Bethlehem are a minority today. They can't find work because jobs often go to Muslims. That's one of the reasons why so many Christian Arabs have left the country. It's increasingly difficult for them in a Muslim-dominated society.
We are grateful for people even from the outside who are thinking of the issue here and how it can be helped. And we do what we can to spread the good news and that there are people who care to help them get through this difficult time.
Liz drives along the security wall separating Bethlehem from Jerusalem. This wall has made life difficult for people living here. Liz knows families on both sides and wants to help if there's a need. She hopes that things will change.
Like the Berlin Wall, it won't be forever, and we do know one day that will come down as well. In the meantime, we do what we can to help alleviate the hardship.
Liz enjoys exploring the old city of Jerusalem, walking along these narrow streets. The mix of different cultures in this small area fascinates her. She loves the busy markets, the smells, the faces of the people.
I thrived on learning the different atmospheres in both neighborhoods, the Jewish and the Palestinian, learning to know the people, their food, their joys, their sorrows. And this is very important to me, to know how people feel, why they feel what they feel.
Liz is drawn to the land and the people. Through her social outreach, she meets many Jews and Arabs.
Arab mentality is one of opening up their home, their house to you. Come in, have a drink. Always that instant generosity that endears you to them immediately. And whatever they have, they give you. Whatever they have in their home, that's what they give you. And it's a beautiful reception that you receive among the Arab people.
Most of the people who live here come from different backgrounds, sometimes from difficult circumstances, like Liz.
I was born in Germany in a refugee camp. I think this is where I get my love and compassion for refugees of any kind from anywhere.
Liz met her husband in Israel. They fell in love, and after marriage began a sizable family.
All 7 of our children were born here, and all 12 of our grandchildren, except the last 3, were born here. Okay.
Building relationships with both Jews and Arabs is a challenge for Liz and Chuck, since they themselves don't belong to these societies, but sense so many cultural differences.
It's been a very interesting journey, falling in love with both peoples in this land, having deep friendships on the Arab side and having deep friendships on the Israeli side. To me, is the only true way to understand the conflict. You have to keep up those relationships and feel the pain and the joy of both sides. The Jewish mentality is very much like you hear often the sabra fruit. Prickly on the outside, sweet on the inside. This is very often the case. If you're going to a government office or trying to get something done here, you're often met with maybe even a harshness, but you work right past it, work through it, and you find the sweet on the inside. And often people will help you where you were least expecting it.
Liz has been living here with her family for over 45 years, trying to live an ordinary life. Has this been possible in a war-torn area, in a country which is considered by many to be dangerous?
Life goes on totally normal. Restaurants are packed with people eating and enjoying life, and the stores, the shopping, schooling, everything continues.
But of course, for Liz, war is also a reality. She and her family have experienced several conflicts, sharing with the people the dangers and hardships.
You understand the sorrow and the passion of the Israeli people. A country that has, in recent history, survived a Holocaust has to come here, develop a country, build it up into what it is today, and then at the same time deal with another people who also want this land, which is also part of their home. The people here are facing threats from all the surrounding countries on a daily basis. It's amazing how many of them are able to just shut it out and just continue life without thinking about it. On the other hand, there are many who can't, and many of them have children in the army, and this worry, this constant worry about what's going to happen, which neighbor is going to send another bomb. Bombs are falling in other parts of the country, almost daily attacks, and it's a very difficult tension to live with. Some people are better at it than others, but you can see it on the faces sometimes.
Many years ago, the Kopps moved to Jerusalem. Even today, they're fascinated by this city, which very often makes it to the international news.
I think the media fascination with this city is something I don't think the media even understands themselves. I think it's a spiritual thing, and everyone is drawn here to, whether it's for political reasons or whether it's for other reasons, but there is a fascination here. It's hard to explain, and I don't think there is a real scientific, concrete, psychological explanation other than it's a mystery, and I like mysteries.
That's how people know her, the way she sits at the piano and plays with passion. The grand piano belongs to a church where she accompanies the songs in a Sabbath service. Her husband is pastor of that congregation. Years ago, he was asked to take over the leadership. Liz, on her part, had never thought or wished to become a pastor's wife. The challenge came when her husband Chuck was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. That shattered her trust and faith in God.
This was like a blow to all of us. What happens? What happens to us? What do we do? Where do we go from here? It just is something that's going to get worse and worse and worse. And what kind of life will we have? And the fear begins to grip you. In that, we all had to find our own path to realize that God is in control even of this.
Through the experience of utter helplessness, the Kopps began to realize how important it is to live one's life to the fullest. This illness strengthened the family ties, and in all the personal hardship, Liz discovered a new spiritual dimension.
The highlight for me for living in Israel is just knowing that God is my protection. When my husband and I had an accident in Greece and I survived that accident, I knew there was a God that would protect me and care for me no matter what. So it never really bothered me being even near some of the terrorist activity, because I knew if it's not my time to go, I'm not going.
Liz and her friend Chris meet in a coffee shop. Like Liz, Chris is also trying to help needy people in this melting pot of different Israeli cultures. They meet together on a regular basis to exchange ideas. The challenge for them is to find out where the real needs of the people are.
How did you find out about this family? How did you find out about this woman?
Right, she was referred to me from somebody that I know and love and trust, and that's how many of the people come to us with recommendations from people, and it's always a good way to go about it, with having some kind of connection, and then we just visit the homes and visit the people and get a good idea of what the real needs are, and we take it from there.
Well, I think it's very important, because if you haven't met them and you haven't gone to their home, there are so many needy people, and we can even fall victim to stories that are not real if we don't take the time to go and check them out. So usually checking the situation out turns out to be a tremendous blessing.
Right. Yeah, for me too. I've been very happy meeting the families and the people, and it's created a real bond with many people.
Yeah.
Liz walks through Jerusalem's colorful market. When she visits somebody, she always brings them some groceries. She knows that people appreciate this, even if it seems a small gesture.
I like to come to the shuk to buy fruits and vegetables for the needy families. It's much cheaper than the supermarket, and a lot of times much better. But it's just a simple act of bringing a bag of food or a bag of fruit to a family says so much.
Liz is on her way to a checkpoint at the Gaza Strip, where some Arab families need her help.
This is where we like to keep our focus, working with people who need help, whether they be Jewish or Palestinian. Marhaba. Kif halkom?
At the checkpoint, Arab mothers are already waiting. Their children have heart problems.
Elizabeth. It's me, Elizabeth.
She works with volunteers of the organization Shevet Achim. In English, Brothers Sit Together. They transport the children for a checkup at an Israeli clinic. This trip is the only opportunity for Arab kids with heart problems coming from the Gaza Strip to receive medical treatment.
This personally gives me great joy to be able to work with people who otherwise wouldn't be helped.
The transport and the clinic are being paid for by the organization Shevet Achim. Liz supports this project because, for her, this is an additional opportunity to build bridges between people of different cultures. The Jewish doctors all work as volunteers.
The grim reality is that there are many, many children who are dying of heart conditions and heart defects in the Gaza Strip, and they have no solution, nowhere to go. And the reality that a few hours away from them, across the border, is state-of-the-art medical centers, highly equipped, highly trained doctors, basically the solution and the life-saving source is here in Israel. These families have no money, nothing to give, a strong sense, a lack of worth, and it's really our blessing to be able to come in and say, no, your children's lives are worth something, and we can get you across this border. We can get you to hospitals, to medical care.
Beautiful children.
These are the many children who've already been treated in the clinic. Children who are a sign of hope that things will change in the future. This will happen when people help each other, no matter what their religious or cultural background.
In Gaza, there are small hospitals, not so well developed to be able to handle difficult issues like heart operations and other things. So for this reason, as many as we can help bring out to Israeli hospitals like this one is a huge step in creating goodwill and a good atmosphere for the people.
Liz understands that her life is a journey which for her has opened up new horizons. Her love of Israel, her love for all its people, is one small step on a roadway to peace.